Hey everybody! Well, it is finally opening day for our third season here at Pufferfish Villas. And we just had guests arrive today. They're actually out and about right now, so I'm down here to make a little video. It's getting towards the end of September and we are booked about 50% for the first couple months. So there is still an opportunity to come down and stay with us if you want to, all through the end of September, and there's slots open in October, November, all through the season there are slots open. So we love to have you come stay with us. You can go to www.pufferfishvillas.com and book right there, and there's a link in the description below. And if you book on our direct site, you get a discount over booking on Airbnb or VRBO. So last week Esperanza said that I had way too much nerd talk in the video. So I'm going to take her advice and we're going to try to move along a little faster in this week's video and going forward, and not as much nerd talk. I apologize, you know, I am an engineer at heart. I worked 20 years in high tech doing lots of high tech design engineering work. And so now that I've got a low tech or virtually no tech job, when I get to do something a little bit high tech, which what I was doing last week was not really high tech, but when I get to do something like that, I get a little excited. So I'll try to tone down my nerdiness for the channel here. So in this week's video, we are going to continue our summer projects. This was shot a couple weeks ago before we opened up, and we are still working to get all of these projects done to get this place perfect and beautiful like it is now. So we're going to go back and show you all the work it took to get to opening day here for our third season at Pufferfish Villas. We're Douglas and Esperanza, and we decided to leave our lives in the US and move to magical Loreto, Mexico, where we built our boutique resort Pufferfish Villas from the ground up and work running it and saving to expand in the future. Please come with us to follow our journey and live before you die. Well, this morning I thought I'd take you along on one of my chores that I have to do every couple weeks, and that is getting water for ourselves and for the villas. And we use these, they're called a garrafon. It's a 5-gallon water bottle. We get them refilled. I've got 10 to be refilled today. And so we're going to take them down, get them refilled, and I'll show you the whole process and tell you what it costs. Here is the water place that we go to, Las Bravas. We got a lot of bottled water here. They sell ice here. I am back, just pulled up with my water. Ooh, gotta make sure none of it falls out. 10 5-gallon garrafons of water. So 50 gallons of fresh drinking water, and total cost 115 pesos, which is about $6. Get these loaded in, take a couple up to the Oasis, and then we'll be ready to go. I only carry them one at a time because I don't want to break my back. So we got a lot of rain a couple of days ago, like 1.5 inches, 2 inches of rain. And the wind was blowing, and I should have come down here to the villas and checked, but I didn't. And so now 2 days have gone by, and I was down here to look at the villas, and I was going to check the roofs because one of the roofs on Villa 2 has a little tiny section that's cracked and needs to be repaired. And I was going to get that done before the next rain because we're supposed to have another storm come by next week. But inside here in Villa number 1, I come in here and it is unbelievably humid in here. And it's just like chokingly humid. And you can see that there's like moisture on the inside of the windows, literally dripping down the windows. And so, unfortunately, I thought that I had all these windows 100% sealed, but I believe that this window leaked water down, and it went down. Luckily, I think the water went down into the sink and drained into the sink, but there must have been a lot of water standing around here that then evaporated in here. So I'm going to need to check and see where it's leaking, and it might be that my weep holes, no, I've got a weep hole that I put in right here because water would get into this groove and then it would sit in there and leak out of down here. So I put weep holes in here, and then I tried to caulk this up really good and caulk the corners up really good. Might have to wait until the next rain to see exactly where it's leaking, but I'm pretty sure it was leaking out of this window. This side here looks like it was probably leaking there, so we'll figure that out. But in the meantime, I need to get the humidity down in here. If we leave it like 100% humidity in here for too long, everything's going to start to mold, and it's going to be a huge problem. So I have both the ACs going on dry mode, and this is, they are going to do cooling too. They're still going to do cooling, but they are going to dry the air. They are, in fact, that one you can see, maybe you can see it there, the little, it has some little like raindrops on it to show that it's in dry mode. And I'm going to turn this up to 25 because I don't want like to pay to just air condition this place, but we're gonna need to run these probably all day to get it to dry the air out in here. And what that does is the air conditioners will work hard to take the moisture out of the air here, and then it goes through the drain out to the outside. So we'll get the moisture out of the building here. Good thing I caught this. Another thing that I caught is termites. Now, I showed you the termites. They're still, I mean, there's little things here all over. I'm just letting the ants have their way. See, this all full of ants, and the ants come up and get all the dead termites and take them to their nest for food or whatever. I haven't gotten around to cleaning all that up yet. I need to do that soon here. But over here, the termites must have gotten into this door. Now, this door is another one of our projects. This door came to us not sealed correctly. The other door has a nice glossy seal on it. This door always had kind of a matte, cruddy seal on it, and never got around to resealing it. Now it has these marks on it. These are finger marks or other stuff, but it's made its way into the sealer, and so you can't wash it off, so it looks junky. So we had planned on pulling this door off. I'm gonna take it up to the shop where I can control and try to keep bugs off it. Now I'm going to sand the whole thing down and reseal this door. But I believe when we had the termite swarms, which happens because of the storm, the termite swarm, and look what I got here now. This is a pile of termite poop coming out of right underneath here. There's a little entranceway there. And so this door now has termites in it. And they are in there eating away at it. So I am going to need to get some termite stuff. Luckily, I see where the hole is. So I'm going to treat that by drilling a little bit into that hole. I'm going to get a can of spray that the exterminators use, and you put a little hose onto that hole, and then you can spray a termite insecticide into the inside of the door where all their tunnels are. That usually works to take care of them in a localized area like that. Then we're going to pull that door and resand it and reseal it. All right, we are out here, and Esperanza wanted to wash these hanging chairs that we have, and this is one that's already been washed. Look how bright white that is, and what I can put these up by each other. You can see,
yeah, look at that edge.
Dingy yellow and bright white. So we're going to do another one. Now I'm trying to, Esperanza's trying not to power wash my hand, which doesn't feel too good. So let's see if we can do it. So there's another problem I'm working on. I don't think grout is the fix, because this is what they did. So this is a transition from the concrete to the tiled surface. And I thought this was going to be a problem, but they just put grout in there like that. And it is all basically broken out now. And yeah, it's all broken out, chunks. So the problem here is a couple things. One, this is really thick grout and it gets walked on, and that's not good because grout doesn't have a lot of strength in this huge amount of chunk of grout. Secondly is this is a transition between two different pores. This pore is separate from this pore, and they aren't connected together, meaning that this joint is going to move over time. It's going to expand and contract with the heat and the cool, and anything you put in here that is rigid, like grout that doesn't flex or stretch, is going to break out of this joint. So this is a bad solution for this area. I do agree that it looks bad with this kind of groove here, and even if I clean this all out. So I think what I will do is use the siliconized acrylic, and that's made to be applied to concrete to cover cracks. I thought I'd show you what I'm doing here. So I got the bulk of the material off. Now we're left with this residue of a little bit of mortar, a little bit of grout, and then just dirtiness. You can see here, I've got it all cleaned up. So I go through first. This is just a paint scraper, an old paint scraper that I have. I try a bunch of different things, and the paint scraper worked the best. And that's just getting all that
And that's just getting all that, that stuff off. It is scraping a little bit of concrete off, but that's just what we got to do to clean this up. And then I'm going through with this wire brush here. And this is just kind of to blend in the dirty and the clean new concrete here that I have broken up. So I'll do that. And this transition between the dirty concrete and this concrete will, this will get dirty very soon and it will just blend away. So I'm not really worried about that. Still in the shade, thank goodness, because it's hot. Anyways, I got the caulking put in here, went in pretty good. I'm not excellent in painting and caulking, so I do my best. Now, I don't love the color. I knew that this was going to be a little bit grayer than the concrete down there because I've used it before and it always is, but it'll get dirty in time too and kind of get dirty with the concrete. Here's the other villa. So now it's just a nice clean edge. That caulking is in there and it will not crack out like the grout. It will probably last quite a bit longer. I expect it might last 5-10 years in there because this doesn't get a lot of sun. Gets very little sun. Only part of the year, maybe for half an hour, it gets a little bit of sun. So that will help it not deteriorate. And we don't have hardly any rain here, so it isn't going to get water on it, or hardly ever. Another fix, another thing off the list, done. It's so exciting when I get the project all the way done, like this one. And I've got to look at my list, but I don't have too much left on it. All right, we have our grout. I am wearing gloves because I'm going to do this all with my hands because it's so thick in these big joints that I'm going to do this with my hands. Okay, the sun has just made it up here, so made it just in time. And as you can see, here's the old joints that have been here since the wall was built. And here are my new joints with my new tiles in here. So, looking perfect. And next steps will be to sand off any loose paint like all this where it's flaking up, and we're going to get all that loose paint up. I think these areas maybe had some chalky stuff on them, so we're going to clean it all really good, probably rough it up with a little bit of sandpaper to get it ready for paint, and then we will repaint this color, which is the trim color all along the wall. And look, just now I was just going in and we have our local herd of cattle coming down the road. So this is a little herd of cattle. I think there's about 10 or 12 cows in total that I saw the other morning. There's a lot of stragglers that'll come down. And these are all tag cows. You can see they have tags on their ears. And what's been going on is the ranchers have had no water. Now we just got water, rain, and we're getting another rain. So these ranchers might come get these cows pretty soon. But before this, there has been no water up in the mountains or up in the foothills where these ranchers have their cattle. And so the ranchers, at some point, they don't have any feed for their cattle. They bring them down here into town and just let them run through town because a lot of people irrigate and there's a lot of green stuff that they can eat here in town. See, that guy's going over to look at my bougainvillea here and see if he wants to eat some of that. So we'll let them snack on the bougainvillea there a little bit. They aren't going to do any major damage, hopefully. That may be why the bottom of those bougainvilleas are pretty sparse. I didn't think of that, but I'm guessing maybe these guys have been over here chomping on the bottom of my bougainvilleas for a while. So I didn't really know why the bottom of these bougainvilleas here was not growing in very thick. I think I know now. I think the culprits are right there going down the road. Cows have been eating my bougainvillea out front. I got this all finished out here in front, and this all started, if you remember, because I had to put new tiles in up here, and so I decided to repaint this whole kind of swoop, I call it, wall coming down, because there's areas where the paint was coming off of the tiles. So it's all looking good now. Another project done. Also in the shipment that I got from Amazon yesterday when I got the switch for down at Pufferfish Villas, I also got something I've been waiting for, and that is my propane tank adapter. Now, we've only had 2 propane tanks, one for the barbecue down at Pufferfish Villas, one for the barbecue up here. And that presents a problem that when they run out down at Pufferfish Villas at 10 o'clock at night when they're barbecuing, we're in bed, and then I get a text, the propane tank ran out. And I do have one up here, and I've been pulling this one off that we have up here, taking it down there and switching them out and then filling the one down there. But it's a pain, and I thought it'd be a much better setup to just have an extra propane tank filled up and ready to go down there all the time. So when the propane runs out, they don't have to call me. Hopefully they don't have to call me. Now, if they need help changing the tank out, I can do that. But it's the newer, easy US style connector. And that presents the problem that both of my barbecues, the one up here and the one down there, have the new US style connectors. They are very easy to do by hand. That's why I like them, especially for down at Pufferfish Villas, because then guests, it's really intuitive and guests can do it themselves. Mexico still uses the old style, I think they call it POL connector. And so we need an adapter for the new tank that I bought to be able to hook up and this is the reverse thread, to be able to hook up to the barbecues that we have. All right, let's put the tank down here. Now everything is kind of messed up down here because we're still in our summer maintenance mode. But this tank will sit right down here. This is the barbecue, and I've got a tank on there. And so it will be very easy for the guests when they need to swap it out. And we need to get that all straightened up and cleaned up. I mean, look at this thing from sitting for the summer. See, this is like part of the reason why
we've decided to close in the summer because if we had a guest, and a lot of times we'll have guests in the summer, most of the time, they only want to stay for 2 nights, which is our minimum. They actually want to stay for 1 night. They come, and then the amount of work I've got to do to clean up the barbecue and get it all ready to go, get the fish refrigerator ready to go, get the bikes ready to go. I mean, look at these bikes. They've been sitting here forever. They're going to have to be cleaned. All the equipment over here, dirty, 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 just from sitting here. So it presents a massive amount of work for me for 2 nights rental, and then I'm going to have to clean the villa or have my cleaners come clean the villa. That costs me $50 or more. Well, they probably do a quick cleaning like that for $40, but that's another $40 and probably a half a day of my time for 2 nights. Not worth it. So that's why we're closed here over the summer at Pufferfish Villas. We have a few more projects before we can get to opening day today. So tune in next week and we'll try to get all the projects wrapped up. And then we'll be caught up here to real time at Pufferfish Villas. And then we can show you all the stuff we're gonna start doing here. We've got some exciting stuff coming up, so you aren't gonna wanna miss it. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you like this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and never forget to live before you die.